the final event of the 21st Maccabiah. It's the Open Men's Gold Medal Final between the United States and France. On a beautiful evening in Jerusalem, Malpa Arena. Griffin Epstein alongside Zach Gershman here from Maccabi Media. It is a huge game, Zach. It's the final event of the Maccabiah as the United States goes for another gold medal, an event they have dominated recently.
Yes, they have it. As we see, the teams are starting to line up for a team. It's so beautiful what this game has become, and Coach Gottliebs spoke about how excited he and his guys are to hopefully win another one.
So the United States looking to take down France for another gold medal. Let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Evan Kamiko, who has more.
5 years is a long time between Maccabiahs, and a lot can change. For the United States, head coach Doug Gottliebs wasn't supposed to be here. Although Gottliebs won the medal in 17, it was actually current Duke head coach John Scheyer who was set to coach the team. However, when Scheyer couldn't make it, neither could Scotty Friesen. The United States called Doug Gottliebs about 2.5 months ago, and, well, he's right here, ready to go, back in the gold medal game. Zach, Griffin, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. Who would think that Coach K's coaching decisions at Duke would affect the U.S. Open men's basketball team? But here we are, about 2.5 minutes away from tip-off between France and the U.S. Let's talk about players to watch, Jack, and start with the United States.
You start with the United States. We got to talk about number 24, Lior Berman. Lior, a stud from the Auburn University. We know a lot about Bruce Pearl being the SEC's proudest Jew. Well, now you got the SEC's proudest Jewish player on the court for the United States, averaging about 13 points per game throughout the tournament, and it's not his first Maccabiah either. He's a veteran at this game, and he's looking to take his team to another gold medal.
Won a gold medal with a couple other of his USA teammates with the U18 U.S. team back in 2017. He was also the leading scorer for the U.S. with 24 points against France when these teams played last week. Let's switch to the other side in France. They've had a great games. They're 4-1. Their only losses to the U.S. by 13 points, and they've got an absolute stud, as you just said, Lior Berman on one side, but a star on the France's side as well.
Absalom, Vincent Absalom. He is what Doug Gottlieb said is the X factor in this game. They have to watch him because he's the Maccabiah leading scorer and he's a dominant guard. So for the United States to contain him, that is key to securing another gold medal.
Already a professional player playing in France's second division with the Antibes Sharks. Head coach Pierre Haddad, we talked with him before. He said France has the green light. They lost this matchup to the U.S. in 2017. Both teams totally brand new. It's a whole new matchup between the U.S. and France for gold in the very final event of this 2022 Maccabiah prime time here in Jerusalem. Game one between these teams, the U.S. took down France 90-77. France, though, actually won the second half of that game. They outscored the U.S. by 3. They cut the deficit a couple times back to single digits in the fourth quarter. The U.S. pulled away in part because Blake Peters hit a half-court shot to end the third quarter. But Doug Gottlieb, when we talked about him, he says France offers a lot of matchup issues for us. We were really, really tested when he played him. I don't think he's worried. He's confident, but he knows how good this French team is.
Yes, he is. He said that they made him play the best game that they could play. Now they have to play even better entering this one because they're going to be making adjustments just like the United States is going to be doing throughout this one, entering this matchup.
U.S. is 5-0 in this tournament. Really only been tested twice, once by France and once by Israel. A game they ended up winning by 21, but was close for a little bit. Israel won the bronze medal in open men's basketball earlier today. And as we mentioned, France, their only loss against the U.S., all their other games, they've won by double digits. So very experienced, older French team. The U.S., a little bit younger. Almost all of their players still in college ball. Starting five, we'll start with the United States. We mentioned Lior Berman. He's the leading scorer for the U.S., or second leading scorer for the U.S. so far this game. Blake Peters out on the court as well. Sam Silverstein ran out the front court. In the backcourt for the U.S., in the backcourt, Ben Geeler, he's the starting point guard. And the big man for the United States is Dan Schlackman. That's the starting five for the Americans. It's a deep bench, though, for Doug Gottlieb. He'll use almost all of his 12 players. For France, maybe not as deep. They only have 10 players. U.S. in the white. France in the blue. We've got a big crowd here at the Mulhall Arena. Seats about 2,500. One side of the stands almost nearly full. We're underway. U.S. ball to start. 4 quarters, 10-minute basketball. Decide a gold medal in the very final event of the 21st Maccabiah. Good pass by Gieler, all alone, and the layup missed by Silverstein.
Beautiful backdoor cut there by Silverstein to get into the paint, exposing that open spot there in the French defense.
Maybe some jitters there. A 3 ball for Amsalam, but he's a little nervous as well. The leading scorer in the game's well off.
You see him blowing into his hands, trying to get the juices flowing.
A tacky foul called on the French guard Samuel Roche. First team foul on France. Certainly some nerves on both sides for a lot of these guys. This is the biggest game they've played in their young basketball careers.
And that's why the French coach said that they have to limit second chances for the United States. They're good shooters. They have to get the rebounds, limit the turnovers.
Speaking of good shooters, Blake Peters is one of them. Can't hit, gets his own rebounds.
And that's exactly what the coach did not want. He does not want offensive rebounds in those second chance points.
Berman will get it to the big man. It's swatted away. That was Amsalam who got a piece of it from behind. The point guard, Arthur Rosenfeld, will hold things up. French coaches identified him as the X factor for France, as so often the point guard is. Rosenfeld bumped by Peters, and that's the first team foul on the U.S. and the first on Blake Peters.
No, you go ahead, Griffin.
I was just going to say the starting 5 for France. We've mentioned most of them. Arthur Rosenfeld, the starting point guard. William Pfister in the backcourt. That's their top big. Vincent Amsalam, Samuel Roche. And there is the first 3 by Samuel Roche. He's good from downtown.
Roche, they said, is the best shooter on this team. Amsalam might be the best scorer. He's the best shooter on the team. You see it there from 3.
Theo Nalig rounds out the starting 5 for France.
What I wanted to talk about with Arthur Rosenfeld, the French coach said that he's going to prioritize
Peters for 3, yes.
Hey, gotta make me silent over there over a 3 ball from Blake Peters. But coach was talking about how Rosenfeld, it's not going to be his number 1 priority to organize the offense, but it's definitely one of his top jobs.
Amsalam in the lane, that's pretty. He's a pro in France, and that looked like a pro move there to put the French back in front. The U.S. looking to win another gold medal. They have dominated this Opens men's basketball tournament, looking for their 4th straight gold. You have to go back to 2005, the last time they didn't win gold. They took bronze that year when Israel won. Spinning the big man for the United States. Shot clock running down. Long 3, yes! Benny Gieler, the young point guard, hits from way downtown. And the U.S. turns a nothing possession into a 3 ball. Amsalam for France. He's going to be the main point man for France. He was excellent against the U.S. last week. He scored 21 points to lead the way, averaging 19 points per game. That's best in the games.
Beautiful
inside to Schlackman and taken away. The league got a piece of it. A lot of turnovers early for the U.S. and head coach Doug Gottlieb. Rosenfeld at the point, bumped by Gieler, and that will be the first foul on Gieler and the second team on the Stars and Stripes.
Coach said that Benny Gieler, he's one of the lone point guards on this team, and sometimes as a 19-year-old, you're going to make 19-year-old decisions. Bumping to the foul there could potentially be one of them.
The only U.S. player with no collegiate experience as Amsalam tries a 3. Gieler will head to Stanford in the fall. Prefer to walk on after an excellent career in Southern California and the L.A. area.
The coach did say Benny Gieler, one of the most talented potential players on the roster.
Berman pushed off. Down on the ground is Arthur Rosenfeld, getting up a little bit gimpy. I have to say, Zach, the U.S. looks a little tight to start. You can see Doug Gottlieb's not too pleased.
He's definitely not. He expected his team to start fast. That was his number 1 key to winning this game, is a strong first half. Still a lot of time.
France feels they have nothing to lose. For the U.S., they've dominated this competition. They are very much the Goliath. France is the David. A foul, it won't go, but it will be 2 shots at the line for Vincent Amsalam. He's getting all he wants early.
Yes, he is. He's getting right into the paint as coach will check in Ofek Reef in exchange for Benny Peeler, who's going to talk to on the sidelines.
See the foul. Amsalam, the drive in the lane. And that's Gieler's second foul, so that's why he's coming out. Doug Gottlieb, or in replay, had some frustrated words to say to the young point guard. Amsalam will split the pair, and France with a 2-point lead. So Sam Silverstein, the Harvard man, will run the point here for the United States. Ofek Reef out of Yeshiva University into the game. There's Silverstein. The sharpshooter can't hit. Amsalam bounced the ball off. Well, he bounced it off Silverstein, but they're going to say it stays with the U.S.
The one referee making one call, the other correcting him with the better angle. Silverstein will check the ball in.
Oh, beautiful pass to Reef all alone. A Reef in an empty ocean, and we're tied at 8.
Yeah, what a great backdoor cut there by Ofek Reef. Nobody around him. Easiest layup he'll probably have all game.
Amsalam, Rosenfeld lost it, and Berman is fouled hard. That was a take foul. But, in the league, the rare time where you point up the finger and say, I'll take the foul.
Yeah, it was on me. What can I say? There's something I want to point out about Rosenfeld. When we spoke with Coach Gottlieb, he said that when they pressured him in the game prior, he was a little shaky. So that could be the thought process here, but you got to keep your eye on Amsalam, who has been having his way so far, first couple minutes into this one.
Peters, the Evanston, Illinois native. To Berman, skying for the dunk, he just missed it. Iorio can't finish. Rosenfeld thought he was fouled. Here's another chance for a break. Now a 3-point chance, and you could see Berman knew he missed it right off the ham.
That dunk would have went down. Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Would have been the second one in a week here for the Maccabiah and U.S. basketball.
Yes, it would.
You saw the U.S. Paralympic buzzer beater from half court to win a game. There's a, I don't know if that was a lob or an alley-oop from Amsalam, but it didn't work out. Other way, Silverstein, the Euro in the lane. Doug Gottlieb talked about using the Euro step. Some of these players aren't as big, but they can use their athleticism to their advantage. It's not there. Off the mark from Roche.
To go off of that point, in this tournament, the United States is playing pretty big compared to some of the other countries. While they may be at their Division I, Division II collegiate schools, they might not be the biggest. But in this tournament, Coach said extend wide, and that's very important so far as the United States up 10-8.
That's the halfway point of this first quarter. Silverstein won't go. 10-8 lead for the United States. Back and forth. A good 6 minutes. If it's any indication, we've got a dandy of 40 minutes of gold medal basketball ready to go. Amsalam. Good ball movement by France. A wide open 3 for the league. It won't go. Berman the other way. Hasn't hit one yet. And he's still ice cold. Silverstein. Can't find it. Cold shooting on both sides.
Yeah, when we spoke about the open, we said Lior Berman needs to be strong from 3 so far. First couple shots have not hit. He's got to hit one to get the momentum going.
Gold medal on the line, as it's going to be a foul on the U.S. That will already be the 15th foul on the Americans. U.S. will take a timeout. 10-8 lead for the Americans. 3:34 left to go here in the first quarter. We'll keep it here. Zach, what are your thoughts for these first 6.5 minutes or so?
The thoughts are that the United States really lives and dies by the 3 ball. You saw Blake Peters.
So many American basketball teams do.
And that's the culture. That's how it's changed so much. over the years with the Steph Curry age of NBA basketball, where you can just fling it from deep and you got to hope it goes in. Those points from 2 to 3, they add up. It's not a secret why the game has changed. But the European style, it's very smash mouth, right in your face, get into the paint, draw fouls, do it the simple way, but do it the tough way.
A lot of ball movement too, which I think we've seen from France early. Some of the ball movement in the U.S. that's struggling with that physicality. Already 5 team fouls. You have your starting point guard in Gieler in foul trouble. That's a concern, especially the last game of a tournament. You played a lot of games. This is the 6th game in less than 2 weeks for the U.S. It's 6th game actually in, I do the quick math, in 8 days. So very little time off. It's a compressed schedule at the Maccabiah. And obviously facing a physical team, you can get worn down. Now, Doug Gottlieb did say the U.S. is in excellent physical shape. He thinks they're the best conditioned teams in the games. But it's something to watch going forward.
Without a doubt. He said bigger and longer the court, the better it is for the United States. Obviously, with this being the former home for Hapoel Yerushalayim right here in Maha Arena.
Home for almost 30 years before they moved to Pice Arenas. You see the France head coach, Pierre Haddad. William Pister hits the first free throw. France is in the bonus the rest of this quarter with 5 team fouls on the U.S. All knotted at 10. Plenty of the fans in attendance rooting for France. Trying to get their first gold medal in open men's basketball this century. They had a silver back in 2005. Brayley Albert has entered, as has Mike Rabinovich. The first touch is a basket.
Big Mike, as Coach Gottlieb called him, getting right into the paint. That's so far where the United States has had most of their successes, getting those backdoor cuts off of juke moves and getting right into the paint.
David Haziza has entered for France. A 3-ball for Nalig. He's fouled.
You see, Iorio did not believe he got him there, but Coach Gottlieb is giving it to him right now. As you see here on the replay, going up for the shot.
Yeah, clearly hit the hand.
Yeah, some contact there.
Had to go straight up as a defender, and that means 3 free throws for Theo Nalig. This is the first. A big factor against the U.S. in these teams' first matchup. Hit 4 threes on the way to 17 points. That was second most for the French players against the U.S. The U.S. beat France in the first matchup. It was a U.S. lead throughout, but France got it to single digits in the fourth quarter. The U.S. pulled away for a 90-77 win.
Need somebody to check it in?
For now, a France 1-point lead. 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Ofek Reef over to Brayley Albert, and again looking for Rabinovich, but a little too high. It's hard to throw it over a man that size, but Albert just too tall. A Tony Parker floater in the lane, honoring the Frenchman, but it didn't go from Dan Chaffman.
That's a good one, Griffin. I like that one.
Long 3 from Peters. He can hit from anywhere, but the bank shot didn't work. The bank is closed late on a Sunday night here in Jerusalem. Salam going to see the ball in his hands for a lot of time throughout this ball game. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. A floater and one. Dan Schaffman in the lane. A chance for an old-fashioned three-point play, firing up the French faithful.
Beautiful shot there with the foul in play. It is here on Peters, just on the left arm, but the floater coming off the right arm. Beautiful let go from the hand.
These fouls are really adding up for the U.S. Still 2 minutes left to play, and France deep into the bonus. The three-point play converted, and it's a 3-point lead for France.
Lior Berman checking in. Hopefully got the jitters out of the way. Although he said he's played in big environments, we know that at Auburn. So a gold medal matchup. You see him trying to cut into the paint right there. Was not ready for it, but the United States will retain possession.
Ethan Lasko into the ball game as well. Currently plays at Yeshiva. Former Manhattan Jasper and walk-on at Indiana. Seeing Doug Gottlieb go deep into his bench early. We've seen almost everyone play for the U.S. 10 players have come into the ball game.
Trying to find something to work.
Reef looking for something to work. He'll get to the line for 2 shots. Just the 3rd team foul on France.
When the United States has possession and they go into the paint, they are getting results. It's what they got to continue doing. We know that they live and die by the 3 ball, but they got to get into the paint because that's what's working so far for Doug Gottlieb's squad.
I want to talk about a winner. It starts with Ofek Reef, part of the Yeshiva Maccabies that had the historic 50-game win streak. Ended in February, but was a special streak for the all-Jewish school on the north side of Manhattan, Division III.
And it was recognized by so many people, like our Big Ten Commissioner, Kevin Warren, giving a shout-out to them. Got Robert Kraft as well.
It's good to see Jews win on a national stage, and of course, no matter what happens today, the Jews are going to win as well. Nearly a turnover for the U.S. France will work into their sets. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. France leads by 1. Schaffman's been busy since he's come in, but that pass is way too tall.
Getting pressure on the French team has made them very hesitant. It's made them careless, which is what the coach told us he does not want to happen. That's where the United States could get their points back from the missed threes.
That looked like a far more physical defense on that possession from the United States. Ravinovich to Berman, who's still without a point. The starting point guard, Gieler, is back in as well. The Auburn Tiger in the lane. Can't get the roll. Nothing's going down for him. Reef has been everywhere, however. Shot clock down to 10. Berman aggressive and fouled. The French are furious.
You could tell Pfister did not believe. He thought he went straight up. Coach Gottlieb said he is the one they have to keep an eye out on the defensive side as the rim protector. And you can tell he's still very frustrated talking to the referee. He does not think he got that one.
Berman will look for his first points. Zach mentioned him as his player to watch before the game. Can't play at a higher level than Auburn. Berman is a walk-on with the Tigers, but it's actually gotten some more playing time of late. This past year when Auburn was number 1 in the country for a good portion of the season, actually got in 20 games, made 8 threes. Dealt with some injuries. As you take another look, that certainly looked like a clean block to me. So even though Berman's a walk-on, he's gotten some time of late, worked really hard at Auburn to earn more playing time. And he's been one of the better players for the Americans as he earns his first point. Little press applied here by the U.S.
Yeah, this is exactly what the team needs to do because there's pressure here, and that's where the French team has crumbled, as you see. Pass it out to the left side.
Salam, under a minute left to play. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. And a foul on Alberts. That'll be 2 shots at the line for Salam.
Tie game though, Griffin. 48.8 to go here. It says on our scoreboard in Malha Arena.
This is all you want. A tight game in the gold medal final here between France and the U.S. The only loss for either of these teams was France playing the U.S. last week. Both of these teams have been dominant over everyone else, but the winner, they're going to have to earn their gold medal. Salam will take a seat. That's his first break, and it's likely going to be a short one. Just 45 seconds left in the quarter. Healer at the controls. Gets it to Berman, still trying to get going for the Americans. Step back jumper is pure for the Birmingham native.
All he needed was to see one go down, the fan favorite. There's an Auburn Tiger fan directly across from us, fist pumping his way. Met him in the parking lot. He's a fan favorite even all the way here in Israel.
And Auburn's going to be here in about a week, actually playing right here in the Maha Arena against the U18 Israeli national team. That jumper won't go. Shot clock turned off. Last chance for the U.S. to take a lead. Handoff. Berman. Didn't go. And the horn will sound. What a first quarter we have had. Back and forth, physical, a lot of fouls, a little bit of sloppiness, and everything we would want. 17-17 at the end of one. As you take a look at some of the highlights, Berman, that sweet step-back jumper to tie things up at 17. What a great first quarter.
He had that Dirk Nowitzki fader over there at the post. What a great, beautiful shot. This United States team is starting to get more in their element now as the quarter has gone on. So, I wonder what Coach Gottlieb is telling his team right now.
Don't go anywhere. We're back for the second quarter in just a moment. You're watching the gold medal Open men's basketball final between the U.S. and France on Maccabiah Media. Back here at the Maha Arena in Jerusalem. All tied up at 17 apiece between the U.S. and France. A gold medal on the line. What an excellent start to this gold medal final.
What a crowd, Griffin. This is awesome. Nearly every single seat, besides a little bit, has been filled by somebody. It's beautiful to see.
Far side of Maha Arena totally full. We saw a great crowd last night at Pice Arena in nearby, about a mile away in Jerusalem, for the men's ice hockey final. And the U.S. took down Canada, their first ever gold medal men's open ice hockey. France out of the break looking to take the lead, and a travel is called on Dan Schaffman.
They're actually going to call an offensive foul there, Griffin, on Pfister.
Good eyesight, Zach. Or eye up here in Maha Arena.
I learned how to count my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm still learning that.
Listen, it's a process. What a better way to learn it than basketball.
No doubt. Healer at the point for the United States. Peters out there as well. All the starters. Schlackman, who only played a couple minutes in the first, working down low. And good. Right as the shot clock expired.
Knowing that Pfister is a shot blocker and a rim protector, the fadeaway there, the perfect move to get around him.
First points for the sophomore at Amherst College. Top shot in the lane goes Samuel Bonai, his first points. You wondered, would France be too scared of the moment? Certainly not. Is another turnover. Schaffman, that's a long two. Yes. Dan Schaffman has come off the bench and been an energizer bunny for the French.
Coach Pierre said they have the green light for everything. That light is flashing green.
Berman had a green light, but there's no dice. And now a foul called on Schaffman as he tried to strip Peters. Well, Berman, it feels like, has been involved in every possession, Zach, but just has struggled to find his shot. Just one made field goal. And certainly Coach Gottlieb looking for the answers offensively for the U.S. Berman bounced off his knee, lucky to save it as he crashes into the U.S. bench.
He almost
was okay
hit
down there. The 19-year-old Gieler tried to take a foul, nearly hit the shot anyways.
Great way to box out by Nielig to not let Schlackman get down there for the offensive board. It's the fundamentals, the box out, that's key for the French Open team.
Long possession for France. Ends with a beauty from Arthur Rosenfeld. The point guard with his second bucket of the game, a 4-point lead for the French. Berman looking for some offense. Peters for three. No. I don't think the U.S. has hit a three-pointer, Zach.
They did. They hit one from Peters in the very beginning, and then Gieler got one as well.
But still, it's been very few for a team that really relies on the three-point shot. It's been very few for them.
Foul on the U.S. That will be their first team foul. And Schlackman will take another quick seat. Iorio back in. The U.S. going a little bit smaller. A 4-guard lineup. 1 in, 4 out. How Gottlieb likes to say. There's the pressure from Iorio. Wide open on the other side. Zerbib off the back iron.
He was wide open there.
The ball movement has been fantastic from the French.
When you try double covering, you're going to leave one person open. Zerbib was that person, just could not nail it down.
Berman will reset. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. He's got a step. He's got a bucket. 5 points for Lior Berman. The senior guard will have one more year with Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers this fall. Ansalam. Tipped and somehow falls to the French, but it's blocked by Iorio. And a foul called, a tic-tacky foul up top. Healer was fouled by Amsalam. Another view of that block by Iorio.
Beautiful. Going straight up with and not drawing a foul. In a game where the referees have really been calling a good amount of fouls.
Peters will try, yes.
The 6th point of the game. 2 threes for Blake Peters. Needs to get going more than just the 2 that he has so far to keep the United States in this, only with a 1-point lead.
Princeton Tigers, a 3-point specialist. Ansalam trying to give France back the lead. Approach the halfway point of the second quarter. Ansalam is stripped and a foul is called on the U.S. Gottlieb hops in the air and turns around.
Well, the fouls have not been favorable to the United States, as you see Coach Gottlieb with his arms crossed. Very frustrated with that call. It was a backdoor cut by Rosenfeld. He was wide open right in the paint. So they could have potentially gotten 2 points out of that.
Ofek Reef will re-enter for Peters. Reef has definitely been one of the better players early for the U.S. Had a lot of energy for the Americans off the bench. That's what Gottlieb called him, a true competitor, a winner, as he's proven at college. Amsalam inside, double team for the Americans. A long jumper, bad shot, air ball, and a lead.
Great defense there by Berman to pick up Neely and lift his arms up so nothing could happen.
Silverstein using that Euro step again. He'll go to the line for 2 shots.
The Euro step, that's exactly what you mentioned earlier, Griffin. The United States team need to get closer to the paint. You see him driving up the court, getting right by Rosenfeld. Getting to the line.
It's one of the key matchups in this game on both sides. Silverstein misses the first. Him and Amsalam will be doing battle throughout, and those are the 2 leading scorers on both sides. Silverstein averaging 13.5 points per game, first on the Americans, and 6th best in the games. 2-point lead for the United States. Amsalam, a surge out of nowhere and a lay-in. He went from 0 to 10 in the blink of an eye.
You could see there that was the hesitation of fouls being called in the United States coming into play because nobody got in front of him and said they were behind him, trying to poke the ball away.
Berman's been confident, but he finds nothing but this hot late Sunday Jerusalem air.
And it's sticky in here too.
Yeah, it's the AC's not cooking, I'll tell you that much.
What's cooking is Ansalam. He's been cooking so far today.
And
right on cue.
The chef is cooking up some specials tonight. The French flying back. We're tied up at 28.
It's away.
There's a beautiful lay-in by Silverstein.
Coach saying that Silverstein does everything. He's not perfect, but he does everything the best on the team.
1 point lead for France. Stripped. A 2-on-1. Here's Reef. A little too strong. Silverstein. The U.S. retakes the lead.
Reef went up there with the opposite hand, not being able to flush it in, but Reef gained those second chance points that Coach Pierre on the French side was worried about.
What a game this has been so far. We don't have a lead change tracker, but let's say there's got to be at least 10 so far. A seesaw battle. That ball was tipped, and Berman is the recipient. Pull up, yes. A 3-point lead. Pierre Haddad throws his hands in the air in frustration, and France wants the timeout.
It was the stop on a dime. Step back. Beautiful shot there from Lior. The United States fans out here in full force. And you got a young fan there too.
Yeah, he's not old enough to see the last time the U.S. hasn't won a gold medal in this event. In fact, I'm not sure he's old enough to see the last Maccabiah. Berman with the pull-up jumper. 3-point lead for the Americans. France has led for the majority of this second quarter, but it's been back and forth. The biggest lead has only been 5 in this game. The fans have been involved. The French fans are in attendance, making the flight over from Europe. A long way for the Americans, but plenty of fans in attendance, Zach, because they know this is it. The final event of the Maccabiah. Everything else is ended, and this is the spotlight event, and we even have some pretty good dancers.
Yeah, are they here for the game, for the action on the court, or for the dancing on the court?
That's some serious talent.
Beautiful crowd here tonight at Maha Arena. As you can see, a couple yellow seats empty, but there aren't many. And if those seats are empty, you got to get to Israel somehow, some way, fill them up.
I tell you, I don't care about basketball. You need to teach me how to do that.
Listen, I'm nifty. I ain't that nifty.
I don't know. I got to go down and ask those guys at halftime. Some absolutely breakdown dance moves, and both teams have been dancing back and forth as well. Pierre Haddad not happy for France. The U.S. has taken a 3-point lead. More press applied by the U.S. We've seen a defense for the U.S. that's been increasingly physical. Albert back in for his defensive prowess for the United States.
Coach Gottliebs moving up the court with his defense.
Trying to be the sixth man almost.
Yeah, coaching him all the way. And Evan spoke about in the open, was not the first choice, was not the second choice, but he's a proven winner here in the Maccabiah.
Amsalam from deep. Oh, he nearly hit it. Offensive board. Yes. Theo Nalig has made his name known inside and outside. Got fouled on that three-pointer. And the inside bunny cuts the lead to 1. Iorio is fouled. And that will be the 15th foul on the French. So the U.S. going to the line. Now the opposite of the first quarter when the U.S. got into foul trouble. Here in the second quarter, France into foul trouble. The U.S. with still 3 minutes left will be shooting from the charity stripe the rest of the way.
Shout out to Jordan Fuchs cleaning up the ball there. The refs tossed it to him. He grabbed the towel, cleaned it up. Now he's ready to go.
Yeah, those Hoosiers are always good Samaritans, Zach.
Listen. It's a tricky one there, Griffin. I see what you're trying to do to me.
2 shots for Iorio. Iorio's been around the block. 3 different schools he's played at. American, South Alabama, and now at Niagara, just north of Buffalo. That's some really good seasons. And you talk about Big Ten schools. He went to Ohio State, the Valley City Arena, and scored 18 points. So you talk about a guy in the big moment as he hits both shots. He's been there.
Good. He should have scored more against Ohio State. Put him out their misery.
Oh, okay. Hopefully no Buckeyes are watching. Zach's not going to be too kind to you. And Sam Silverstein's not going to be too kind to the French. A 5-point lead. It's the biggest of the game for the Americans. Amsalam out of control. It will stay France ball.
And the entire United States bench is standing on their feet, giving a round of applause to Ofek Reef, playing all the way to the end, running from the corner, poking the ball away.
A little too far off the bench that one of the referees has to poke them back to their bright yellow seats.
Coach Gottlieb grabbing the shorts as if he's ready to go. We mentioned six-man. He takes it literally.
He'll need a shower after this, that's for sure. A travel? No, a foul.
Coach cannot believe it. Neither can the United States bench.
Pfister's been pretty quiet for France. He's the only player on France that's played Division I basketball in America. Played at Florida Atlantic University in the start of his senior year in Boca Raton.
We mentioned how he's a rim protector. Not only that, he's a mobile big man. Definitely gets his way, getting to the bank.
See if France tries to get him more involved. Beautiful ball movement in the league for three. Can't hit. France needed that one. The other way, Silverstein with some fancy ball work gets it to Reese.
Ooh.
Bodies everywhere, and now France has a break the other way. Amsalam wanted it. Instead, it's Nalig.
I don't think Roche meant to poke it away, but he did exactly that.
Back inside to the big man. Rosenfeld will swing it. A three ball for France. Won't go. Ice cold are the French, as Roche couldn't hit from downtown. He's hit just 1-3. That's their best three-point shooter. We haven't heard much from him. Beautiful spin move by Iorio. Couldn't get it off the glass. The angle was off.
Iorio looking for a call as Pfister gets it. Oh, ooh.
Oh, the Maccabiah signs going everywhere, and Pfister is down hard. You have to hope he's okay. France wants a flagrant. Oh, no.
Coach Pierre with his arms up in the air again.
That's always scary when a player goes down hard. You have a foul off the head by Albert, and then, Pfister hits his head on the Maccabiah side. I think that should be a flagrant foul when you hit someone in the head.
See another angle here.
It's not intentional, certainly, by Albert, but that contact up at the head typically would warrant a flagrant foul back in the States, but we'll see what these Israeli referees decide. It looks like just two shots.
Pfister shaking off the sweat. You can see him mouthing right there, I'm good.
It's good to see. He hit his head against the Maccabiah signs, but those are rather plush, better than hitting your head against the hardwood floor. Just over 90 seconds left to go here in the first half between France and the United States. An excellent first 20 minutes to decide the gold medal, the final gold medal here in these 21st Maccabiah. We have had hundreds of gold medals handed out, and this is the very final one of the most coveted. It's gone to the U.S. in the last 3 games. France has not won it this century. Inside, Rabinovich can't go. A fight for the board, and the French the stronger that time. Rosenfeld to the lead. Roche trying to get going. A minute left to play. Pull-up jumper for Amsalam. It won't go, but he's got 2 shots. And caught in the cookie jar.
The whistle has not been quiet tonight. A lot of fouls have been called on both teams in this game. And you can see neither side is really happy about it.
Both teams are now into the bonus, so shooting free throws the rest of the way. Amsalam with 2 shots at the line as the ball's getting a little toweling off. Everyone's sweating so much here in this human Malha arena. It's built, Zach, purposely when you mentioned the Jerusalem basketball team that played here now plays at Pice, but the longtime head coach talked about it was purposely built to be as loud as possible to make it intimidating for the opposing teams, and I also think to make it hot and humid. It's below ground, essentially.
It is. It goes downwards, it's tucked in like it's like a little barn type of thing. But
it's almost like we're in Minneapolis.
Yes.
Lead cut down to 2. Silverstein. The 3 won't go.
Silverstein's been one of the bright spots so far for this United States team, as a little under 40 seconds to go in this one.
Rosenfeld is bumped, and he's in some serious pain, holding the hammy. Oh, this does not look good. The starting point guard for France, their X Factor, is down hard as Doug Gottlieb wants to call timeout. Oh, no.
You can see there, once he bumped off of Mike Rabinovich, right away went for the hamstring.
And the last thing you want is anyone hurt in this gold medal game. And Rosenfeld, the starting point guard, down hard. Well, 40 seconds left to go here in this first half. Feels like a big 40 seconds, Zach. Both teams trying to get the momentum going into the locker room.
Coach is pointing his way. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I know he's not saying I want you to do those dance moves, but he is trying to draw something up.
Maybe after the game if you want goal.
Maybe afterwards. Maybe afterwards. But for now, he wants these 40.7 seconds that are on the clock to make the most of it. Go into the half with a bigger lead than the 2 points you currently have.
2-point lead for the Americans, 40 seconds left to go. The break dancers are having fun. Rosenfeld is still down behind the basket and getting some work done by the French medical team. France only has 10 players. They're not super deep. This would be a devastating injury for head coach Pierre Haddad in France, looking for their first Maccabiah gold in open men's basketball this century. Pierre Haddad following in his footsteps of his father George, who used to be the head of Maccabiah France. As you see Rosenfeld not able to put really any pressure on that left leg.
It's a shame. You never want that for a player, especially in a game like this. It's a gold medal matchup. You see him still getting worked on.
Have to hope it's just a cramp for the starting point guard for France. One more for Chaffman, who's been an excellent bright star off the bench for France. He's tied things at 35 apiece. 40 seconds left to play. The U.S. can go 2 for 1 here. Blake Peters. That's it to Sam Silverstein. Peters for 3. And 2 Americans fighting for the ball, and it goes off both of them. It goes to France. Oh. Pyramid and Rabinovich were both fighting for the basketball, and if one of them had just backed off, they would have gotten an offensive board. That's the reality on both of these teams. Most of these guys have not played together very long. It's their 5th game together.
Open right away. Coach going for Ofek Reef, who's been all over the court in this one, getting him off the bench, getting him into this one in the last 20-some seconds.
2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. All tied at 35. What a game we've had so far. Amsalam, the star player for France, with the shot clock running down. He hits! Oh, what a shot by Amsalam! And France will take a lead to the locker rooms.
Wow. Wow. Coach said, keep your eye on Amsalam. Coach Gottlieb, that is. He knew from the jump what it was going to be. And as we see here, Evan Kamikow with Coach Gottlieb.
What a shot by Amsalam. Let's send it down to the 3rd member of our crew, Evan Kamikow, with Coach Gottlieb.
Improve in the second.
Everything. We're missing easy shots at the rim. For the most part, defensively, we've pretty good assignments, but we're doing some dumb thing of fouling way too often. We fouled on a 3, specifically said we don't want to foul on 3's challenge. We fouled on a mid-range jump shot, that's the shot we're playing for. So, and then we got to adjust to their switching defenses. But we got to just drive it in. We're getting shots at the rim, wide open 3s, and not making them. So I think the big thing is we have to finish, and then we have to remember our defensive rules.
And Coach, what's the message going to be at halftime?
Well, I think we're the better team, but they got 20 minutes to play like it. You got guys who miss a shot, they hang their head, they get a foul, call it, hang their head. Like, you're better. Go play like it. Better energy. When we play with better energy, we've been the better team.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Evan. A frustrating Coach Gottlieb, but still confident as the U.S. trails France 37-35. Zach, your last thoughts before we send it to break.
It's exactly what Coach Gottlieb said. You're better. Go play like it. You have to fix everything is simply what he just said. And it's impressive that even though they have to fix everything, they're still only down by 2. This game is in hand for the United States.
So a 37-35 lead for France in the half, back and forth. An excellent first half. We can only hope for more in the second. Stay tuned. Our halftime show is coming up with some excellent packages and stories from our Maccabi media team. 37-35, France leads in Jerusalem in the gold medal open men's basketball game. You're watching Maccabi Media.
fact that I'm Jewish, I feel more connected to the land itself. I think that's a really good aspect of Israel Connect.
Welcome to Tel Aviv, one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
It's the last of the people who witnessed the history of the birth of Israel. Really, these are the people who built the country. Not a Christmas stranger.
Thank you, donors, because now I'm able to explore Israel and learn a lot more about my heritage.
Here's the second half. Saul Moskowitz, and he scores, puts it into the left post, and he curves it in.
It's really a surreal experience, and what I've experienced so far is definitely once in a lifetime, and I couldn't be more grateful.
The game, and now he's back in transition. Olaf again with the ball, drives down, another layup for Olaf.
On behalf of the Open men's softball team, we can't say it enough, but we really thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this amazing tradition and this amazing program, and hope to be able to do that in the future as well.
I just want to thank the donors for helping make this opportunity possible. We have a number of players who just couldn't have been here if it wasn't for you, so thank you.
Thank you to the donors for making this possible. We're all having a really great trip so far.
Another chance for the United States to go out in front, and it's a goal. It's put in the 74th minute by Jacob Muchnick.
Thank you so much, Maccabi donors. It's a pleasure to be here and compete for the U.S.
Thank you to all the donors and everybody who helped make this amazing event possible.
For all the people who Sherry Levin has touched and all the places she has been, there's one part of her life that stands out.
Is really extraordinary because it's been such a part of my life for so long. And the friends and the people and the experiences that the Maccabiah has provided me, I can't be thankful enough.
Levin returns this summer to Israel as the head coach of the USA Open Division women's basketball team. It's a way for her to give back.
To me, that experience that I get to see their eyes light up, and I get to see the tears, when they go to the wall, and I get to share with them, kind of give them a glimpse into the lens of what I have experienced.
Her experiences that date back to 1981. She won silver with the U.S. in the first ever Maccabi women's basketball competition. She was hooked.
It is an event that not only inspires you on an athletic level, but it really connects with your heart and your soul on your heritage level.
Levin's connection to basketball and Judaism stems from an unlikely source, a Jesuit university. Levin starred as a player in college at Holy Cross in Massachusetts after being the first female athlete at the school to receive a full scholarship. But her decision to join the Crusaders was not easy.
I did go and talk with my rabbi, and he was a dear friend and a confidant, and I went and I asked him what he thought. And he gave me an answer that has always remained with me. And he said that if you are Jewish here, that it doesn't matter if you're with 10 other Jewish people or 1 million Catholics.
Levin celebrated her differences at Holy Cross, lighting the menorah during Hanukkah and explaining Jewish practices in the school newspaper. On the court, she was dominant, still today Holy Cross's all-time leading scorer. Levin was honored in November, with the school naming the player lounge after her and embracing her Jewish heritage.
They also asked me if I would like a mezuzah to be hung on the doorpost of the locker room. I was not only taken back, but I was a little emotional to think that they would think of me in that level, that here I was a student at Holy Cross, fitting in amongst the student body, and here they were recognizing the differences and that I have.
Levin gives back every winter at Worcester Academy. She is the head coach of the girls basketball team, winning 2 New England high school championships. But her crowning achievement might be coaching and developing Aaliyah Boston, the reigning Naismith Player of the Year and national champion at South Carolina.
To teach has been something that I just love doing. It's my passion, and I try to make a difference in the lives of the women that I coach.
As Levin makes the trip to the Maccabiah in Israel for the 7th time, she returns to the Maccabi games with a 19-1 record and 4 gold medals as a head coach. Win or lose this summer, Levin's legacy as a player, coach, and trailblazer will resonate long after the final buzzer sounds.
It was a disappointing finish for Maccabi USA Open Men's 3-on-3 basketball as they lost to Uruguay in the bronze medal match 11-8 on Tuesday evening.
We're just deflated. We didn't come out. They wanted it more. Well, I think we're a very skilled, more skilled team. They came out strong, and their big man really played well. He's an excellent player.
Playing in an unfamiliar setting on the beach played a role in the team's loss.
Shooting here is difficult because of the wind, and we went like 1 for 12 in our last 3 games from 3 or something abysmal like that. So, yeah, we need to learn how to play with the wind a little bit better, I think.
Although it wasn't the outcome the U.S. wanted at the Maccabiah Village, the players enjoyed their time in the first ever 3-on-3 tournament.
I'm really honored to be part of the inaugural games. Made a lot of friends, evidently, and I'm just happy to be here. It was great. Great. I'm glad they're doing it now.
It's so much more than just, medals. It's about the connections, the experience, and coming to Israel. So, it's nothing we're going to hang our heads about.
This marks the end of the inaugural 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the Maccabiah Games. For Maccabi Media, I'm Sam Ostry.
Here at the Poleg Beach in Israel, it's the official Maccabi Village. So come on with me, let's take a tour. The first stop on the tour is our great merch stand here in the Maccabi Village. And I gotta say, there's a lot of things I wanna buy. Guys, did you guys buy anything special today?
Got it. Bought for the family. Got something for let's see. I got my bucket hat.
Oh.
You gotta get out. You gotta keep cool in the heat. So, here. There you go.
Hey, there it is.
That's it. You gotta be styling. This is the place to be, guys. Come on down.
Why is my stomach growling? Well, it's a good thing our next stop is the food court, the official food court of the Maccabi Games. Come on, let's check it out. Shalom, shalom. This is schnitzel. What do you guys think of schnitzel? It's good. It's good? That is good. That's really good. What do you guys think of the schnitzel? Your mom made this. Your mom did an excellent job. This part of the tour is really cool. Right behind me, you see the course of the Maccabi Ninja Warrior set, where warriors and athletes from all over the world actually compete right here in front of a cheering crowd, hoping to have their feet not touch the ground. And that concludes our tour, and all you have to do now is see it to believe it. Charlie Goldberg, Maccabi Media.
Welcome back to Maha Arena. It is a fantastic ball game between France and the United States. 2-point lead for France, 37-35 in this gold medal game. Let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Evan Kamiko, who has more.
Thanks, guys. One of the big things that the team has done to bond has the coaches of the United States have compared the players to movie characters. Benny Geeler was noted as Sunshine from Remember the Titans, and Brayley Albert is the California kid, Crush, from Finding Nemo. But the question remains, who's going to go from zero to hero and be Hercules for this United States squad in the second half? Zach, Griffin, what do you think?
I don't know, Zach. I mean, I want to talk more about the Remember the Titans. That's my favorite sports movie of all time. But who do you say? Who is the star?
Who's the star so far? I would have to say Sam Silverstein. He's been doing everything for the United States. Also, Ofek Reef on the defensive side, only 4 points so far in the first half. But on the defensive side, Ofek Reef has been dominant.
You know, the real superstars are, though, our great sponsors. All of these broadcasts,
Beautiful.
our final Maccabiah broadcasts, couldn't be done without our sponsors, including 76 Capital. 76 Capital, shaping the future of sports. As well as this broadcast brought to you by Campus Apartments. Campus Apartments, the student experience is built here. And brought to you by Evolution Health Group. Evolution Health Group, we have evolved. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you to Evan. And thank you for tuning in. I think you're going to enjoy these last 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes were some incredible basketball, tightly contested, back and forth. France has a 2-point lead coming out of the break.
We spoke about how loud this arena could get. If the game continues as it is, this place is going. The roof is going to come off of this place.
Inside, Schlappman with the second bucket of the game, and we're tied.
Lackman starting off both halves. Started off the first half strong with the bucket. Starting off the second one here with the first basket of the game, or the first basket of the second half.
If you really want to talk about stars on the French side, Amsalam has shown the brightest of anyone. Here he is here. Oh, a beautiful pass. Mr. will finish. France takes the lead. There's an assist to add to Amsalam's totals. He has 15 already, nearly half of France's points. Free throw line, Jay, I should say. No good by Geeler. Amsalam and France the other way. Amsalam, a man among boys, but he can't finish there. Geeler will get out and run, and Rosenfeld will take the foul. How about that? Rosenfeld is back on the court. He looks just fine. That is great to see.
It's a great thing to see when you have a guy who went down the way that he did get back up into this. Very, very happy to see.
Starting point guard and the X factor, said the French coaches when we talked to them before the game. Big thanks to Evan Oshowitz for helping be our translator as well. We're not super good at French, Zach, because that's going to be French ball. Evan Oshowitz, who's running camera today, also stepped in as translator and helped clear up any confusions in our pregame conversation. He is a fluent in French. I don't know what he was saying. He had 2 million words coming out of his mouth.
He even impressed Coach Pierre.
They seemed impressed. I don't know what they were saying, but they seemed happy. France would be most happy with a gold medal. Amsalam trying to lead him there, but he can't hit. A 2-point lead for the French, looking for their first gold medal in men's opens basketball this century. They took the silver. Last game is Peters looking for the gold. It's from downtown.
9 points for him. All via the 3-ball.
That's where he makes his dinner.
So Amsalam is the chef. Peters is the one that's enjoying the meal.
Oh, beautiful cut. And Schaffman finishes. You want to talk about an under-the-radar player. Don Schaffman has been excellent off the bench. Berman struggled with his shot of the first half, and it bounces off the foot of the big man Schlockman. And just like the first and second quarter, Schlockman, after a couple minutes, will sit, and the U.S. will go smaller as Sam Iorio, the Niagara man, enters. Gold medal on the line. Doug Gottlieb, the U.S. head coach, looking for his second. Defeated France in the gold medal game as head coach in 2017. Didn't, as Evan talked about in the Open, didn't expect originally to be back, but ended up being the head coach, named a couple months ago. As that ball is tipped away and will stay with the U.S.
And when Doug Gottlieb is your third option,
hey, you got a lot of good options, right?
You got a lot of good options.
I mean, the first option was now the head coach of the most famous basketball program in the country, John Sire. So that's a pretty good option there, even if he turns you away.
Can't get much more blue blood than that.
Amsalam can't hit.
Surprised because we've seen so far that the referees have not been shy with blowing the whistle, that they didn't call an over the back on Pfister.
The U.S. throws it away again. Berman thinks it's tipped. He's pleading his case. Will be France ball. There's been a lot of U.S. turnovers, some sloppiness. Doug Gottlieb told Evan at halftime, we are the better team. We just have to play like it. Again, the shifty point guard, Dan Schaffman.
The focus has been so much on Amsalam that Schaffman's been able to make it happen.
Now the focus has been Sam Silverstein for the U.S. offense, and he hits again.
His 12th point of the contest. Tie ball game here, 6:43 to go, 43-43 score.
Continues to be a seesaw affair. Inside to the big man Pfister. Florida Atlantic grab. Out to Rosenfeld. The trace is good. Boom da tray for France.
Coach Pierre fist bumping in the air. What a nifty move by Rosenfeld.
Une de trois, I should say. I don't know my French very well. Here's number 3 for the U.S. And a foul is going to be called on Schaffman. That will be France's second team foul. Reif enters once again for the U.S. He's been good. Silverstein, Berman, Reif, Peters, and Iorio out for the Stars and Stripes. Iorio working down low. He's got a step and is fouled. A late call. And the French bench not pleased.
Fortunately, did not hit his head close to where the mop guy is. But we've seen some nasty falls that side. We saw Pfister get hit. We saw Rosenfeld fall. So it's good to see Iorio get up.
The mop man is busy again. 2 shots at the line for Sam Iorio. U.S. trails by 3, and you can hear the French fans in the crowd making some noise. It feels pretty split, but I'd say maybe a little bit more towards France. They are the underdogs in this game, and there's plenty of Israelis. You can see the tricolor as well, the French flag on those, what are they called, those thunder sticks. Those are great at making some noise. Iorio misses both free throws. Great shot by our excellent Maccabi Media production crew. Amsalam. No, Pfister and Silverstein fighting, and it's a jump ball. The arrow will stay with the Americans.
Great job there by Silverstein, still not to let go of possession. Every possession counts in this game for this United States Open team.
It feels like if there's a captain for the Americans, it'd be Sam Silverstein, Jr. at Harvard. Obviously, he's got a pretty good mind, majoring in computer science in Cambridge, leading scorer for the Americans, and played 26 games with the Crimson, mainly a three-point shooter with them this past season in Massachusetts.
Lots of Ivy League ties with this roster as well with Blake Peters.
And the shot clock expired before that shot by Pfister. He couldn't hit anyways. Good defense by the U.S. And now it's American ball.
And speaking of defense for this United States team, Skylar Etten, the assistant coach, Doug Gottlieb said that he's the mindset of this defense. He's the one that instills all the plays. But the defense is giving it to right now to the United States.
That's a 5-second call. Rosenfeld harassing Silverstein, and he can't get across the timeline in time.
Putting the pressure on this United States team. Don't think they were expecting that press.
Really catching Silverstein off guard. As smart as he is, he wasn't ready for that one. France playing with all the energy right now as Rosenfeld is fouled. Will be just the first team foul on the U.S. nearly halfway through this third quarter.
Thought Rosenfeld got up there with the elbow on that drive. I guess by default of the foul. But from here, it did not look pretty. Coach Gottlieb not thinking his team is looking pretty.
2 players right now with 3 fouls on the floor. Pfister is one of them. He's inside, tipped, and taken away. That's Lasko who got a piece of it. Oh, behind the back, up and under. Oh, low. Ethan Lasko with some of the best dance moves of the day, and we had break dancers on the court earlier.
Grab the lighter. That's the flame. That's the spark that this United States team needed. They're back into it on the defensive side, despite the foul.
The former Indiana man dancing. I tell you, Hoosiers know how to dance too, Zach.
I guess so.
Let's take another look. Behind the back, up and under.
That is gorgeous. When you want to show somebody a nifty move, you show them that clip.
Native of Hollywood, Florida with his first bucket of the game. What a way to do it. Oh, wide open, Nalig, yes. Nalig can hit the threes. He had 4 against the Americans last time, and he has one there to put the French up by 4. France is led for the vast majority of this third quarter. Reef trying to get going. Yes, right through Absalom. Absalom in the lane. Falls to Pfister. Iorio had to be careful. He has 3 fouls. And Pfister finishes. Back and forth we go as France applies a press.
Braley Albert getting ready to check into the game. Coach Gottlieb calling him off the bench.
He's been a defensive specialist for the Americans early.
Despite having 3 fouls, though. So he's got to keep an eye out on him.
Berman can't finish. Man, he has really struggled today with his shots. 21 points against France to lead the way. He does have, what, did he have 9 points at the half, but hasn't been consistent shooting. Somehow that ball didn't go in for Chaffman. And the other way is Lasko finding Silverstein. When we talked with Pierre Haddad, the first thing he said of keys to the game was keep the Americans out of transition. They've done a pretty good job of that until then.
Yeah, he's wanting them to stop the fast break. That fast-paced movement right into the paint is what did it.
Hoffman to Rosenfeld. Both point guards have been excellent for the French. Nalig along 2. He's cooking. 5 points in the third quarter. And France has every answer for the Americans right now. The big man Iorio tries the 3. Just doesn't feel, Zach, that the Americans have clicked at any point in this game.
They haven't. That's why Coach said, that's the spark right there from Ethan Lasko taking the charge, screaming towards his team. They're all up.
Lasko has had some nice moments, had that beautiful behind the back up and under, and you see him step in and take the charge on Absalom.
Absalom has had his way getting to the paint with those layups. Ethan Lasko saying, not if I have something to say about it.
Lasko will stay on the court. Reef, Iorio will take a seat. Albert's in, as is Peters. Healer in as well for the Americans. Starting point guard's been quiet for the U.S.
Yes, he has. They need us to say his name more often.
Albert getting involved on the offensive end. The first bucket for the L.A. native. Vanderbilt Commodore and now a Tulane Green Wave. A good trap right at the half-court line, and the Americans get a steal. They've trailed this entire third quarter. Albert feeling it. Lasko almost went. Ethan Lasko has provided a spark for the U.S. when they needed one.
Right off of the bench. And we saw him during warm-ups. He was getting shots up. He looked pretty good. Seems like Coach Gottliebs has liked what he's seen from him.
A timeout called by France with a 2-point lead for the French. They have led nearly this entire third quarter, but the biggest lead for either team has been just 5 on both sides. It's been everything we've wanted and then some, with a gold medal on the line. The U.S. trying to win their 4th consecutive gold medal. They've won in 2009, 2013. That 2009, by the way, Bruce Pearl was the head coach, speaking of great head coaches. And then 2017, when Doug Gottlieb was head coach as well, trying to two-peat. France took silver in 2017, losing to the U.S., as well as in 2005 when Israel won the gold. That's the last team outside the U.S. not to win, as we see, talking about Auburn, see Auburn Tigers fan in attendance. And does Evan Camico have more? No.
I'm not sure if Evan Camico has more, but I know we have more about it.
Tell me more, Zach.
We spoke with Coach Pearl in the beginning of this Maccabiah experience about his time coaching in the 2009 games, as you said. He puts it right up there, 1 and 2, with Auburn being in the Final Four in 2019.
Wow. And you talk about Auburn, we mentioned it briefly. Berman sticking around. Auburn's coming in next week. They're playing 3 games, all here in Israel, including one right here in the Maha Arena against different levels of the Israeli national team. They're all televised on SEC Network if you want to watch them. And it's interesting, Auburn is only the 2nd ever Division I men's basketball school to ever come to Israel.
Yes.
UConn was the first team. Coach Pearl talked about, he hopes this is a tradition that more teams come to Israel. Thinks it can be really a beneficial experience in terms of the basketball, the bonding, and of course the amazing history that this country has to offer as Lasko hits the first. All tied at 53. U.S. will apply a press. France clears. 90 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Still right now, no one with 2 hands on the gold medal. Turnover on France.
Look at the bench get up. They are ready. They don't want this to be a tie game. We talked about the lead changes and how many there have been. A lot. They want to take the lead once and for all and run with it.
France outscored the U.S. the first time these teams played, but the U.S. had a 16-point lead at the half. Not the case today. 3-ball, Healer, yes! The Americans' first lead of the third quarter comes from the youngest player on the team, a Stanford Cardinal commit. Aziza, jump ball called, American ball.
Look at Coach Gottlieb getting into it. And a USA chance rang throughout. Wow. He rang throughout Maha Arena.
All right, our Evan Camico's up in the booth. Evan, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. Just listening in to both of the huddles. France said that they're upset that they're getting beat at the half court. On the other hand, Coach Gottlieb, happy with the press, wants it to go more. That's one of the big things that France has struggled with here in the third quarter, and I anticipate the U.S. is going to keep pressing because they have a 3-point lead now. Griffin?
Got it. Thanks, Evan. Some great insight on both sides. This intense ball game. 53 seconds left to go. U.S. ball. They lead by 3. It has been back and forth. No teams led by more than 5. Ealer, who just hit a big 3 to give the Americans the lead. The SoCal kid can't get hot there. Albert with the board. Taken away by Haziza. And the jump ball. Now the Euro will point to France.
This game is getting chippy.
Intense. The last game of the 21st Maccabiah. Had over 9,000 athletes here from 59 countries. Hundreds of medals handed out. This is the final one to be handed out. Closing ceremony tomorrow night. Rishon Lazan outside of Tel Aviv. One of the biggest events always, the men's basketball gold medal final. And this is going down as an all-time classic. Another press for the U.S. and nearly another turnover.
Ooh!
And that looked
like a travel.
Yes. No call. Nalig can get the jumper. It bounces off the back of Albert, who appears to be hurt. And players everywhere, balls everywhere, and the foul goes to France. Albert, meanwhile, is hurt. Shot clock has been turned off with 21.9 seconds left. And American Braley Albert is down on the floor. U.S. will have 2 shots at the line after Albert gets back up. Hope he's okay. Looked like he was feeling his back when he went down. You're right, it has gotten extra physical.
He's on his hands and knees right now. Gotta hope all is well for Braley Albert. He could get right back into this. Fortunately enough, Maccabi USA medical professionals, some of the best in the world. Very lucky to be surrounded around these type of people.
Do a great job traveling from all over the United States to come to Israel and provide the best care for some of these elite athletes. Part of so many incredible members of the U.S. delegation as they get Albert up. He's walking quite gingerly. Have to hope he's all right. Berman will come in for Albert. And the U.S. will have 2 shots at the line to try to extend a 3-point lead. (56-53), the U.S. in front. Looking for a gold medal here. The men's open basketball gold medal final. Israel won the bronze medal earlier today, defeating Canada. But these 2 teams have been dominant in the games. U.S. 5-0, France 4-1. France has only lost to the U.S. by 13. Today has been way more competitive than the first game. Shot clock turned off for France. They trail by 5. They're tied for their biggest deficit of the game.
Coach Gottliebs starting off there with the half-court press. Full-court press, excuse me.
The lead gets it to Hazaza, who's got some time. He's got to get a shot off. And, a foul called with a second left. Looks like that's going to go on Lior Berman.
Seems like one of those ticky-tack calls we called in the beginning. When the game is getting as physical as it is, something as small as spying for the ball in the way that he did, I don't think we'd call for a foul.
That foul brought to you by Evolution Health Group. We have evolved. France needs to get a quick shot off. That's off in time, but it doesn't go from Roche. So a 5-point lead, Zach, for the U.S. It felt like the U.S. struggled for those first 6 minutes, but they got a spark. I think it started with Ethan Lasco.
Yes, it did. The spark was with Ethan Lasco. And also Benny Gieler stepping up in the final 2 minutes to get into the game and start making an impact on the court.
So we'll take one more break. 10 more minutes of basketball to go. And the gold medal very much up for play. Back in a moment. A 5-point lead for the U.S. as we head to the 4th quarter in Jerusalem. You're watching Maccabi Media. Ten minutes left to play from Malha Arena on the south side of Jerusalem. Stephen Epstein, Zach Gershman, Evan Kamiko, Courtside, our executive producer and director, Simon Rosenwasser. What a ball game this has been. So glad you can join us on Maccabi Media, enjoying your Sunday afternoon if you're watching in the States, your evening if you're watching in France, or if you're watching right here in Israel, your Sunday night. U.S. looking for their 4th straight gold medal. They are 10 minutes away, but they have been in a seesaw battle with France. No one is led by more than 5. That is the U.S. lead right now. Gieler to bring it up for the United States. Ofek Reef in. Sam Silverstein off his hands. Deflected. Out to Peters. Oh. Reef pulls down the board. The U.S. gets a fresh 14.
They need Peters' shot to fall down.
Just 3 threes way downtown. Benny Gieler. Barely old enough to drink in Israel, but he's hitting threes like a grown man.
Coach said he's one of the most talented players on the team. He's got the potential, especially being the youngest.
2 threes in the last couple minutes. Biggest lead for the U.S. Pfister silences the Americans and the crowd. That was a much-needed bucket for the French. Reef. Yeshiva Senior finishes. The American offense is finally starting to click. Big backcourt screen. Reef got caught in it. Oh, it was going to be a beautiful pass to Pfister right off his fingertips. Gieler thought about it and is fouled. Probably a good foul in that instance by Rosenfeld, trying to slow down the red-hot Gieler. Sounds like Evan, you have an injury update for us.
Yeah, guys, Brayley Albert, it's going to be a left thigh injury. The doctor is over there working on his upper thigh. We don't know the status for the rest of the game. My guess is questionable, but it is a left thigh for Brayley Allen.
Thanks, Evan. Hope that Albert is all right. Back to New Orleans. Respond to continue his season at Tulane as a travel is called there on Peters. I think that's been one thing, Zach, U.S. has cut down on as their offense has really improved. Less turnovers.
Yes, they have. There were a lot of passes that were not on the money that the United States was giving up, and that caused the French team to get a lot of points, but there's a cut right there. Way over.
Well, Rosenfeld is not the tallest player, and that one was 2 Rosenfelds above his head. France, it feels like they're holding on by a thin wire right now. Peters barely stripped. Beautiful pass to Reed. And a 10-point lead, the biggest of the game for the U.S.
Now this is the United States team that we're used to seeing.
France needs a spark. You think it would come from this man, the star? Vincent, well, not from Vincent. Instead, it's inside to the big man, William Pfister. Vincent Salim, had 15 points in the first half and a couple big buckets to start the third, but he's been quiet for head coach Pierre Adara.
Halfway through the third quarter, you haven't really heard much of his name. And now so far, that was the first time, and we're going to hear it again. It's because he just traveled.
Getting a little bit ahead of himself. Salam, talented point guard at 22 years old at Antibes, France. Plays for the Antibes Sharks in France's second division. Professional player. He's been the leading scorer in the Maccabiah games. Had an excellent first half, but the U.S. has quieted him here in the second half, and France with just 55 points. Oh, tough shot. Berman, yes. Timeout, France. A 12-point lead for the Americans.
And the bench has erupted. Lior Berman has been struggling throughout this game. Finally able to nail another one down through the net.
It just seems like, Zach, something has clicked and changed for the Americans. They look like a whole different team, really, ever since that Ethan Lasko bucket. That felt like the switch.
Not only that, the charge as well. It happens on both sides of the court, on offense and on defense. But, Griffin, reality is this could potentially be the last quarter that this team ever plays together. So they got to play for each other, and not only play for each other to win a gold medal.
Talked with Coach Gottlieb. He talked about how great the off-court chemistry had been. They got an experience of a lifetime together, too, at the opening ceremony a couple weeks ago were one of a few teams selected to meet the President of the United States before the opening ceremonies. Doug Gottliebs said it was such a cool and unique experience for the team to talk with the most powerful person in the world. Really says the team has really bonded over the last 2 weeks. They've had a lot of fun. Of course, the focus is on winning a gold medal, but having a lot of team chemistry and growing as men as well is a big focus for all these teams here in the Maccabiah.
That's something that those 12 guys on the court could say that they did together.
Never forget. Coach Gottlieb joked a little bit, though, as soon as they were done meeting with Biden. They said, can we get out of here? We have a game the next morning. And their first game against Argentina. And even though the opening ceremony was pretty spectacular, as Peters is called for a foul, they said, hey, we got a game. We're so disciplined. We don't want to stick around for the party. We got to get some sleep. And I think Coach Gottlieb was impressed by how mature his team was. France trails by 12. They've got to get going. Biggest deficit. Rosenfeld to the corner in the league. No.
He's also been quiet so far this second half. Started off strong in the third quarter and then kind of slowed down afterwards.
France has just 20 points in this second half. That's not going to cut it if you want to win a gold medal. Berman from way downtown, and he is way short.
Coach telling him to slow down, not needing to rush a shot there.
Under 7 minutes left to play in the last event of the 21st Maccabiah here in Israel. Pfister outside, three-pointer in and out for Schaffman, who's been good throughout. And now a loose ball foul is going to be called on the U.S.
And the loose ball foul is because, as Coach Gottlieb was just showing his players on the court, box out. Don't be afraid to get the behind into the offensive player to get that rebound, to box him out.
France is in a scoring funk right now. Pfister inside, trying to break the French out of it. He's fouled and will go to the line. We don't have official stat keeping up here, but I'm not sure France has hit a field goal in this quarter.
I'm not sure, Griffin. I don't think so.
Pfister has a couple points at the line. That's all I can remember. If they have hit one, if they have hit any, it's one or two.
Something to keep an eye on. Blake Peters, the sharpshooter, 4 fouls so far in this one.
There's been a lot of fouls in this game. There are 6 players, as I do the math, that have at least 3. It's been very physical. Pfister trying to cut the lead back down to 10. Keep the French's gold medal hopes alive. France led by 2 at the half. They'll split a pair. Gieler, Reif, Berman, Peters, and Silverstein for the Americans. Reif with some flair in the finish.
There's one thing about Ofek Reif. He's not afraid to get down and dirty and get into the paint, take some contact.
Competitive player. He's got the hair to boot, too. And a foul called on Silverstein. He thought that was a clean swipe. I will say about Reif, he goes to Yeshiva University. He's got to have Jewish hair, and that is some excellently curly Jewish hair. I approve as a fellow curly Jew.
A lot of his Yeshiva University teammates also do have that same hairstyle. One of the teammates that he was pretty close with was Ryan Terrell, one of the best Division III players, period.
Division III Player of the Year this past year.
Exactly. And Ofek Reif might have been in the shadows a little bit, but so far in the Maccabiah, especially in this gold medal game, he's made a name for himself.
Well, Pfister has missed another free throw, and this is really costing the French. Splits another pair, but he's leaving points at the line when France cannot afford it. Lasko, who was one of the big energy sparks in the third quarter for the U.S., is out there. Oh, what a spin move by Gieler. Can't finish, but a foul. Benny Gieler has looked really good in this second half set.
Yes, he has. Quiet in the first, but in the second half, I wonder if Coach Gottlieb said something to him in the locker room, because despite missing that free throw, making an impact so far for this United States team.
Coach Gottlieb says he has a world of talent, and he is a walk-on at Stanford. Probably could be a scholarship at most mid-majors in the country. Win a Southern Division title in CIF, most competitive division in California, his junior year. Native of San Pedro, California in the LA area. Ansalam needs to get going. Shot clock down to 5 for France. The corner, desperation 3, flanks off, but Nalig pulls down the board. Barocha's been quiet, he missed that 3. Clock running down again, down to 5. Pfister been the main source of offense, and again he is fouled. It's the 4th time he's been fouled in this quarter. That's really France's only offense.
Ethan Lasco mouthing to Coach Skylar Ayton saying, he's going over me talking about Pfister, but you got to box out, as previously mentioned.
There are 3 Americans who have 4 fouls now. Iorio is one of them. You see him there. Silverstein has 4. And as previously mentioned, Peters has 4. So the U.S. has to be careful here down the stretch. It's certainly not over. Just over 5 minutes left to play. Pfister trying to make both at the line. He does this time, and the lead's down to 11. Ooh. And Lasco is fouled 90 feet away from the basket. That's just not a smart foul by Samuel Roche, who's been really quiet today for France.
You could hear the slap all the way from up here in our makeshift broadcast booth.
Hey, we got a beautiful broadcast booth. What are you talking about?
It's beautiful. Great view of the crowd and the action happening on the court. So lucky to be able to bring it to you guys back at home.
Oh, Reif just got around everyone. Part of the Red Sea, and found he had nothing but freedom in front of him. Lead back out to 13 for the U.S. Less than 5 minutes left to play in the 4th. Amsalam has no points in the 4th quarter. The star for France. All sorts of traffic around the paint. It won't go.
He's just shaking his head.
Oh, Lasco running the floor. Oh, he missed the layup. Well, sometimes the easiest things are the hardest things in life, if that makes any sense.
Makes all the sense in the world.
That's easy for Pfister. He won't miss that. And the lead down to 11. Pfister has all of the points for France in this 4th quarter.
Man-to-man press defense for the French team.
Former FIU Owl Pfister, and in good defense, offensive rebound, and I don't know what happened there to Sam Iorio. He missed a bunny.
At that point, just grab it, bring it down. You're a big body. Don't be afraid to put it back up, draw the foul, try to get an and one if anything.
You hear coaches say that a lot. Don't rush it. Pull it down, take your time, and put it back up. You have the skill. Amsalam again inside to Pfister. Good ball movement. Nalig wide open. Oh, France could have used that one.
I think a big part of it's looking up at the scoreboard, seeing that your team is still within, the French team is still within striking distance, but they're not fully there yet, so they're trying to rush it to get that happening faster.
U.S. looking for the nail in the coffin, and Berman extends the lead out to 13. If the French are to make a run, they need it to happen now.
They need it to happen a minute or two ago, more than anything. Because at this pace, they've been very slow.
Not a super quick team. Amsalam is blocked looking for a foul, and there is a very late whistle, but I think you're right. It's a kick ball, not a foul. And we're going to have a timeout by France. So a 13-point lead for the U.S. 3 minutes left to play. The Americans closing in on a gold medal. We saw the Open women's basketball team with an absolute dominating performance to win gold right before us. Noah Freeman, Noam Watt had a great call of that one. If you missed that game, you can go back on the broadcast and check it out. Impressive stuff. Sherry Levin wins the 3rd gold. Abby Myers was incredible for the Americans, the Maryland Terrapin, and they never lost the game, winning a gold medal.
16 points, 3 steals for Abby Myers. And as you mentioned, Sherry Levin, very emotional at the end of the game. All the emotions coming out, the tears flowing as well.
There's some highlights too. Yeah, there's Abby Myers, and yeah, she was emotional after the game. She's been one of the legendary coaches for the Americans. She's only lost 1 game in her whole career in any Maccabi games, whether the Pan Am games or here in the Maccabiah. She's won gold everywhere she's been. One of the all-time coaches for the Americans, Sherry Levin.
And also, Holy Cross legend Same team, same school as Big Mike Rabinovich.
And one more thing, he played at the same high school that Sherry Levin now coaches at Worcester Academy. So good connection. And of course, it's a little unique being Jewish, going to a Catholic school. Sherry Levin was one of the first to do it. They even put up a mezuzah in her name outside the locker room when she was honored this past November. And Rabinovich, now another Jew at the Catholic school in beautiful Worcester, Massachusetts. Out of the break, France needs a bucket and quick. They trail by 13 with 3 minutes left to play. The U.S. closing in on their 4th straight gold medal. They've had to earn it the hard way, that's for sure.
Okay, travel, and it's exactly what's called.
Too many steps for David Zerbib.
Zerbib has not played much in this game. Missed a three-point shot early on in the contest, have not seen him since.
The U.S. looking to shut the door on a France comeback. Oh, what a pass, and the finish by Silverstein. Ofek Reef with a brilliant assist.
Eyesight looking golden. Might not be the only thing that's going to be golden right now for this United States team.
The U.S. can feel it now. Pfister is the only thing keeping France in this game. Ansalam nearly got a steal. The lead stacked down to 13. Keeler, only 19 years old, looking for his first gold medal. Hasn't even stepped foot on a college campus yet. He hit a big three to give the U.S. a lead at the end of the third quarter. Step back, Jay. It barely caught the iron. France has to go fast now. They will. Well, they thought they were, and now they slow it down. Just not a team that's built to go quickly, clearly. Ansalam looking for his first points. He finally gets them. The lead down to 11, and France will press here. They've got to.
Lee Peters wide open in the middle.
France just looks tired right now, and that will be a foul on Pfister, and Peters will not go to the line unless they rule that a shooting foul. It's just the fourth team foul on France.
Yeah, it's going to be a routine foul. But they might be in the bonus because it seems like Peters going to the line.
We'll have 2 shots at the line.
For Pfister, that's his 4th.
Two great minds think alike,
what
right?
What can I say, Griffin?
Yeah, they teach us well in the Big Ten.
I guess they do.
Couple other scores we want to mention. Busy last day of the 21st Maccabiah. The Open Women's Soccer team tonight had an incredible victory. Won 2-1 at Hebrew University, Ramat Gan Stadium. Rachel Leggett scored the game-winning goal for the U.S. in the 90th minute to defeat Israel, get revenge. They lost to the Israelis earlier. The Americans bring home the gold. The incredible comeback for the U.S. women.
Speaking of 90 seconds remaining in this contest until the United States Open team gets to say that they're bringing home the gold too.
Lost by Pfister, bodies on the ground, and a jump ball. 12-point lead for the U.S. They haven't started celebrating yet, but France is going to need nothing short of a miracle now. This has been an excellently played game, back and forth. France had a 2-point lead at the half. They led for most of the third quarter, and the U.S. finally got a spark. Ethan Lasko had key back-to-back plays, a beautiful Euro step behind the back, up and under finish that cut the lead down, took a charge. Benny Gieler hit the 3 to put the U.S. in front and give the U.S. a 5-point lead going into the third quarter, and the U.S. quickly extended that lead out to double digits and haven't given it back. Amsalam throws it into the stands, and he knows it now. France's gold medal hope so intact for a good 30 minutes of this game slipping away. And listen to the crowd. Three ball, Gieler, no. Under a minute left to play, the Americans closing in on a 4th straight gold medal, the 2nd for Doug Gottlieb, and the 1st for so many of these players. Rosenfeld will hit. The lead's down to 9, and Doug Gottlieb is not too pleased with the defense there. He knows it's not over.
They're teaching Benny Gieler the hard way. You can see how mad Coach Gottlieb is on the screen. No matter the score, no matter the time. Instead of it being a 12-point, 11-point game, now it's 9. You're cutting it down to single digits.
3-possession game, and with the 14 fouls on France, U.S. is in the bonus. It is 2 shots at the foul, not like college basketball rules, more like NBA rules in terms of fouls, but France will certainly need to foul it, I'd assume here. What would you do if you're Pierre Haddad, Zach, in the huddle right now?
You got to press, because the press has been working for the French team, except for when they let Blake Peters get right in the middle, right at half court. You got to press them. And also something that has not been done, they have not gone on the man tossing the ball in. They got to get on the front guy.
U.S. is a younger team. France more experienced. Most of their guys out of college. They have 6 players playing professionally in one of the French professional leagues. They've shown their experience at times. They were very poised for the first 3 quarters, but the U.S. has shown their talent over the last 12 minutes to pull in front, but the lead cut down to single digits. Both teams are now in the bonus with 50 seconds left to play. The U.S. looking for their 4th straight gold medal.
One positive thing, besides winning the gold medal, Braley Albert on the bench for the United States team. Great to see him. Got something wrapped towards his hip, but great to see him on the court.
Good to see. Here's the double team. U.S. gets it forward to Peters, and now they can wait. France will foul Gieler, and it's a free throw game now. The U.S. hits their shots at the line, and they are golden for the 4th straight year.
But that's also been where the United States has struggled. A lot of missed extra points at the line. It's a charity stripe. Not been given much so far.
France would like some shots back from Pfister, too. He split a couple of trips to the free throw line in this 4th quarter as Gieler hits the first. Well, you talk about a player that has made a difference in the second half for the Americans. He's only 19 years old, Benny Gieler. But he has the talent of a seasoned veteran, and the lead's back out to 11. France has to go quickly. Rosenfeld gets it to Zabib in the lane. Let's go. Offensive foul, Pfister, and 1.
Boxing out.
The French have no quit in them. Got a silver in 2017, fell to the Americans in the gold medal game. But they are 31 seconds away from the same result 5 years later. Pfister to try to cut the lead to 8. 31 and a half seconds left to go. Doesn't go, man. He has missed some big free throws. And Silverstein is fouled. He'll have 2 shots at the line. Doug Gottlieb closing in on his 2nd gold medal. A couple of the Americans. Noah Berman, Braley Albert, Dan Schlackman can win their 2nd gold medal. They were all on the 2017 U18 team. Everyone else for their 1st ever gold medal. The lead back out to double digits. And I'm starting to see some signs of celebration on the U.S. bench.
I'm just waiting to see Coach Gottlieb smile. I've not seen much of that today.
I'd imagine it comes if the U.S. is leading after the next 26 seconds. Last gasp for the French. Rosenfeld off balance. It falls to the U.S. and the horses will be called off for the French. It's a 4-peat for the Americans. The U.S. was tested maybe like never before in the last 4 Maccabiahs, but once again they stand atop the Jewish men's basketball world. The Americans are golden.
Embrace your fellow American, embrace your fellow Jew. The United States, as you said, Griffin, is golden.
4 straight golds in a row. Boy, did France give them a test for your money, but I think if you're the Americans, you have to love it because this was not a game where France rolled over. They had to earn this victory. It took really the U.S. a good 38 minutes to really find their best stuff, but they showed that they did have a golden spurt in them.
We mentioned the first time that the United States played France. The France did not have the number in terms of score. Look at that embrace there from Dan Schlackman. That's the smile we've been looking for. Giving a hug to Benny Gieler, he's still coaching up. This is a valuable lesson for Benny. the youngest member of the team, as we've repeatedly mentioned. Playing in a game of this experience and this level and this magnitude, very important, very special.
U.S. certainly had their ups and downs today, but in the end, they come out with a gold medal as they defeat France 81-70. Impressive defense, you have to say, by the Americans in the second half. They hold France to just 25 points. Really felt like a complete team effort, too, Zach. I mean, we have to decide a player of the game, and it's up to you. You have to make the tough decisions, but I have to say, top to bottom, the U.S. got a lot of key sparks from different players at different times.
I wish I could share it between Sam Silverstein and Benny Gieler, because Benny Gieler, coming off the bench, really provided that spark in terms of results. We mentioned the spark Ethan Lasko brought on in terms of the momentum of the team. Benny Gieler changing it into the score, but both him and Sam Silverstein dominant in this performance, in this 81-70 win. But you know what? I'm going to give it to Sam Silverstein.
Really the de facto captain, you have to feel, of the Americans. A little bit of doing it all. He's led the U.S. throughout this tournament and just was so steady throughout this game. Provided the U.S. offense when at times it felt like they didn't have very much. The medals getting ready to be handed out. Israel the bronze, France the silver, and the Americans the gold. So you see, they're starting to have a little bit of fun.
Stars and stripes, and the stars all out on the court donning the USA colors. Everyone's embracing.
The final event of this 21st Maccabiah as the U.S. wins 81-70. Kamiko will catch up with our player of the game as well as Doug Gottlieb, and we'll stay here for the medal ceremony as well. I want to take a final look at the medal standings with the Maccabiah wrapped up. This is the final event. The closing ceremonies are tomorrow. It's been just such an excellent game. 5 years without a Maccabiah. It was the longest such drought without one since World War II. Of course, an extra year delayed because of the pandemic. And it's just been so much fun. Such an excellent experience for everyone involved, from the opening ceremony to some incredible games, including this gold medal game today. I don't think this is updated yet, so the U.S., if it's updated except for this game, the U.S. in total will take home 59 gold medals. That's the second most. It's outside of Israel, who has consistently won the Maccabiah in terms of medal count. They have 334 gold medals. It is more than quadruple of any other country. Argentina right now is just in third with 18. We saw them win the futsal men's title earlier.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. As you previously saw there, the shot of all the medals. Every player dreams of hoisting up the trophy. Not many players could say that they have a medal, a gold medal. These 12 guys on this team, some of them for the second time, the majority of them for the first time, get to say, I'm a Maccabiah gold medalist.
Certainly a moment they will never forget. Gottlieb is second gold. So many of these players coming to Israel often for the first time, recollecting with their Jewish roots, taking a break from the grinder of the college game and the college workouts to play for country and for religion as well. As the 9,000 athletes that have come to Israel, you see Vincent Ansalam, he gave it his all, but he just ran out of energy, it felt like, in the second half. And France just didn't have any offense. But got to give a lot of credit to the French as well, and head coach Pierre Haddad. They really tested the Americans for nearly 3/4 of this game.
Pfister as well.
Yeah.
Dominant force, a dominant big man. The United States knew about him ahead of time, being one of the few that have played collegiately. They knew about him, and he made an impact in this one, but it was not enough for the French Open team. The United States coming home with an 81-70 victory. To wear the flag around like a cape. You're a hero.
Certainly heroes, a gold medal, and I think a nice souvenir. Almost all these guys are college kids to bring back to school. I think they're going to be getting a lot of attention with that bling around them.
Yeah, what'd you do this summer? Oh, nothing. I just want a gold medal.
It'll get people's attention. It's a good story wherever you are. That's for sure. Something they will remember in the celebration, I imagine, will last deep into the night here before players head back to the United States over the next couple of days and start getting prepped for the collegiate season. We're only 2 months away or so from training camp getting going.
Hey, it might almost be 11 o'clock at night here in Israel, but the night's still young for this U.S. Open team.
Well, this is also our last Maccabi media broadcast. Want to thank everyone involved. But before that, let's take a listen downstairs to our PA announcer and the gold medal ceremony.
מה אלון חסיד, מנהל מחלקת הכדורסל, ומה השר החיים, מנהל אזור ירושלים במכבייה ה-21. ראשית נרצה להודות לשופטי המשחק הזמן ולהעניק להם את מדליות המכבייה. We would like to honor the final game referees and award them the Maccabiah medal.
All right, U.S. victorious, and our Evan Kamiko has a couple special members, gold medal winners, down on the court. Evan, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with player of the game, Sam Silverstein, and Coach Gottliebs. Sam, I want to start with you. 18 points tonight. What was going right?
Just trusting what our coach is doing, the teammates getting me in the right spots, and playing hard, making plays. It was awesome. It was a lot.
To win the gold medal, what does it mean for you?
It's everything. It was a long journey for me specifically to get here, but I'll be right back.
Sam will be right back. He's going to go, but we still have Coach. Coach, this is your third gold medal, second as a head coach. What does that mean?
This one was incredible because sometimes you just had to figure out a way to win the game. And we had to go small, and they couldn't guard our athleticism and our pressure. And so we waited, and then we were doing great, and then Brayley Albert got hurt. And we're like, oh, God, now we got to go really small. But the guys really, the reason I do this, and the reason I think most of the coaches do this is you make real friendships for life. And they wouldn't have won if they were not together. You know, Big Mike Rabinovich, he came in for 2 seconds at the end of the third quarter, but he played so hard for those 2 seconds. That's what it's about. So I'm really proud. Every time we win as a coach, it means more than as a player.
And Harper, what does it mean that you're here watching your dad get his third gold medal?
It's incredible. I watched his last games, and it's just amazing to see it happen again. I'm very proud.
And Coach, what does this mean for basketball, especially Jewish basketball back in the United States?
Well, you know, like we have this rivalry with France, last 2 finals, and they've been waiting 5 years for this. They're going to have to wait 3 more, and we're ready for them. So it's great. It's just great camaraderie, great friendship, great competition. Hats off to the French team. They were outstanding, and we just kind of figured out a way to win.
You going to do anything to celebrate tonight? I know you posted a lot about food on your Instagram story.
We are going to Tel Aviv. We want no cameras, no nothing. Pure debauchery, okay? They gave me the last 3.5 weeks of their lives. They get tonight's for them.
Awesome. Congrats, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
On a fun sideline with Coach Gottlieb, and hey, it's a medal-winning family with Coach Gottlieb and Harper Gottlieb. Harper, his daughter, won a silver medal in equestrian earlier, and now her dad is a gold medalist. And how about Seb Silverstein? He's announced as the player of the tournament right as Evan is interviewing, so we might get to hear from Sam a little bit before. But I got to say again, I mean, I think the thing to me, Zach, that stood out was how balanced this American team was, and that might have been the difference with the French. they had a star player, and the Americans did not. Speaking of a star, Evan is back down sideline with Sam Silverstein, and let's throw it back down to the player of the game.
Back with Sam. Sam, again, just describe this moment to me. It's incredible. There's nothing like wearing your country's jersey on your chest and playing in front of all these people that coming out and supporting. It's amazing. With this great group of guys, it was a long process. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's indescribable. And tonight was a tough game. They played France 5 years ago. To do it again, beat them again. What does this mean for the future of Jewish American basketball? Oh, man, I'm happy to bring the gold medal back home to the U.S., where it belongs. We know France had this game circled on their calendar, and they were a really, really good team. They came after us hard, but the future is bright. The future is bright. I know the younger teams won gold. This is awesome. It's awesome. And last but not least, anything big to celebrate tonight? Coach said you're going to Tel Aviv. Can you fill us in on that? I'm pretty tired. I might go to sleep early, but we'll be all right. We'll sleep on the plane back. Well, go celebrate. Congrats on the gold medal. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys?
Thanks, Evan. Great job on the sideline. Sam Silverstein taking a gold medal back to Harvard. I think he's a winner in all elements of life at this point, and really a team performance, I thought, though, from top to bottom for the Americans. Again, Ethan Lasko, I mean, he didn't play very many minutes, but he was the guy that turned around the game, and we saw 11 of 12 players for the U.S. play.
And we also heard Coach Gottliebs say Mike Rabinovich waited for 2 seconds of that third quarter, but he gave it his heart and his all for those 2 seconds. That's the difference between this United States team. They were able to go into so many different areas. If they wanted to play big, they could play big. They wanted to play small, they played small. Braley Albert got hurt, they played even smaller. This United States team is multi-talented, multifaceted.
All 12 members of the team getting to wear their gold medals, and they'll get a chance to step up on the platform and celebrate, get the team photo as well. U.S. finishes 6-0 in the games. Gold medalists for the 4th straight year. The last team to defeat the U.S. in a medal round was Israel, who went on to win the gold medal, and U.S. took bronze that year. France finishes 4-2. Both guys mentioned that they knew France was ready. They looked ready. They tested the Americans, but in the end, for the 2nd straight games, the French will settle for a silver medal.
This United States team, they knew they were better. They said it heading into halftime. Coach Gottlieb said it entering into halftime when he interviewed with Evan. The flip switch at the half. We keep talking about the Ethan Lasko switch around. The strong play from Sam Silverstein and Benny Gieler in the second half. So they deserve this. They deserve to hold up that sign as champions and also rep those gold medals.
Well, before we go, I want to mention a couple other champions. In fact, a whole bunch of champions on our Maccabi Media team. This is our final Maccabi Media broadcast. I've lost count of even how many we've done. It's got to be, we've done over 10, I think, at least, with double headers. We had 2 today. We've had broadcasts across from Haifa to Netanya to Jerusalem. Simon Rosenwasser has just done an incredible job spearheading the effort. He was out here with our executive producer Neil Slotkin all the way back in March, scouting spaces, and the only reason that we were able to put on all these incredible broadcasts and bring them back to you in the States or wherever you're watching in the world is because of the excellent, incredible job done by Simon.
There is no Maccabi Media without those guys, and us and the 12 others as the team lifts it up. The championship trophy, the gold medal, the sparks flying. The sparks have been flying all throughout this entire experience. Griffin, love sharing it with you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, Zach. I want to thank all of our 14 media members by name: Alex Bernstein, Brian Barth, Charlie Goldberg, Alana Mutnick, our mentors as well, Matt Fine, Danielle Grossman, Neil Slotkin, our executive director of Maccabi Media is Mark Zumoff, along with our other members, Noah Friedman, Dylan Manfrey, Noam Watt, Sam Austrie, Logan Shizano, Lauren Rube, who did a great job with our social media throughout the game, Evan Oshowitz, and Jennifer Brodsky as well, our excellent educator, who was a big part of our media team as well. Did I miss out anyone? Did I get all 18, 19 people we got?
I don't know. The only thing I know we're missing is we need some gold medals ourselves.
Yeah, that's the one thing we missed in these games. But truly an incredible experience. Just want to thank everyone involved, from the hotel staff to the bus drivers, the athletes, the coaches, for being so welcoming. It was the first time ever doing this program, and I think at least from our end and all the feedback we've had, there's no doubt it has been a rousing success. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage, and we hope, I don't know who will be, but I know it's going to be some really talented Jews, hopefully back here in Israel in 3 years for the 22nd Maccabiah. You can start counting down the days as the games are done here. The 21st Maccabiah. Zach, your final thoughts before we sign off one final time from Jerusalem.
I'll just say right now, watching the sparks fly, this moment that I know will stay with me forever, and I know will stay for these athletes forever, as everyone begins to embrace each other. This is a one-of-a-kind experience. There's nothing like the Maccabiah. I grew up hearing about it, and to see it in fruition, it's beautiful. No other way to describe it. It's beautiful.
It's been special. It's been special to spend it with 14 other aspiring broadcasters, our incredible mentors, our incredible leaders. Neil Slotkin and Mark Zumoff, thank you so much for taking a chance on me and everyone else. And yeah, I echo that, Zach. It's been an experience of a lifetime. Even 2 months ago, I never imagined that I would be here, and it's been a moment for me I will never forget. United States takes a gold medal tonight, a fantastic open men's basketball game, as they defeat France 81-70. For our entire production crew here at Malha Arena, Simon Rosenwasser, Noah Friedman, Evan Oshowitz, Noam Watt, our sideline Evan Kamiko, my good Northwoods League buddy and Big Ten buddy, Zach Gershman. Thanks for sticking on with me for the last 2 weeks. That is going to do it here from Malha Arena. The United States takes the gold medal 81-70 over France. For one final time for Maccabi Media, I'm Griffin Epstein saying good night from Jerusalem.